Hey, okay. Yeah, we're in the building. What you see is what you get. Blessings. Blessings on blessings on blessings. That's how we're coming in today. It's Big Baby with the Sit and Politic podcast. I'm in here today. We're gonna watch some videos. We're gonna kick it. Hop in the comments. Let me know how you feel. Let me know what you feel about the videos. Any videos you want me to react to and stuff like that. I've been trying to get more into that. You see, your boy just got his bifocals back, so I can see again. Let there be light. So everything is back to normal. Everything is going as it should. So to start today off, let's see what videos we wanted to share with y'all today. Make sure you like, share, subscribe. Check out some of the other content we have on the channel, podcast, reactions, all that in between. I think where I want to start out, man, I wanted to share with y'all a little interesting side tangent before we get into all the juicy conversational topics. And I wanted to share with you
within this tank lives a miniature world. There are
all right, so look, this dude right here, Dr. Planets. My guy Dr. Planets goes insane. Okay, he will take a marsupial out of the middle of the down under, man, and he'll build something for him to live in his guest bedroom. So look, this guy goes nuts. I've seen him set up some true species wars between ants and like regular ants and fire ants. This guy goes crazy. So go check out his content. He has some really interesting stuff going on. Today we're gonna look at this like desert, this desert that he built.
Predators and prey, wind and rain. This desert,
bro, is a species I've never even seen.
Is a dangerous place, but despite all odds, some animals have evolved to survive. It transformed from an empty wasteland to a thriving ecosystem. To understand the mysteries within, first, we must go back to day one. It all started when I got the tank.
And he always brings you back to the empty tank and make you feel like a silly goose for not being able to do this yourself. You know what I mean? Like for me, I'm not going to handle all those exotic creatures. And don't get me wrong, like when I live in Florida, so when you do hear like somebody let out some rare snake or some snake got loose that has no business being in Florida, is indigenous to the Congo, it's like, come on, man, why is somebody own that, and why is it now loose in our communities? That's sickening. But I don't know where this guy lives. In my mind, nowhere near Florida. And
some materials and a whole lot of cacti. I proceeded to mix up some dirt and then build up the substrate. After placing in some rock, I began to plant the cacti. Ouch! Their spines are extremely sharp, and it was a huge pain to plant anything. I added in some final touches and the tank was complete. This will serve as the foundation for a thriving ecosystem. On day 3, I introduced the first animals.
Some shit like that I'd never want to see.
These are called isopods. As you can see, I have 2 varieties here, clowns and zebras. After I placed them in, they began to search for shelter. Alongside the isopods, I introduced springtails and buffalo beetles. These 2 detrivores will eat pretty much anything they can find.
Right here.
All of these tiny bugs will eventually be food for a future predator.
Oh.
By day 50, the isopod population began.
Imagine you come in your garage, going to take some trash out or something. You see a goddamn scorpion that glows in the dark. No, sir.
To boom. In the shaded areas of the tank, they would form small little herds. The juveniles looked almost identical to their adult counterpart. Here, you can even see one shedding its skin.
Wow.
While the zebras were thriving, the clown seemed to have.
That looks like you need Pomone and Pumbaa to come in there and regulate these things.
Disappeared entirely.
Eat these on the bottom.
On the other hand, the buffalo beetles were taking
bottom of a nice log.
I placed a dead cockroach into the tank to show just how many there were.
Hey, yo. Oh, man.
Soon, there was nothing left but a hollow skeleton. They were running rampant and I needed a predator. I needed something deadly, something fast, something almost as terrifying as my mother-in-law. Let me introduce you to the dune scorpion. He is a vicious predator and will make short work of a beetle or isopod. Do you see that tiny white drop on his stinger? Well, that is a potent venom, and I have to be extremely careful. I picked him up and prepared to place him into the tank. After a gentle...
Why is he in his hand? That's crazy. So this dude so he knows this has that is handled with care. I'm taking the container and I'm dumping it out over top the terrarium we got going on.
Love tap, he took his very first step into the new world. Scorpions are almost completely blind, so they don't use their eyes to get around. Within just a few minutes, he managed to take down a buffalo beetle. With a full stomach, he began to search for a place to burrow. After a few hours, his burrow was complete, and it just looked like an ordinary hole. But if we look underground, we can see it is so much more. It is his home. He would spend most of his time here, but as day turned to night, he would emerge. Under ultraviolet light, he will glow a radioactive green. On day 60, I realized the scorpion wasn't going to be enough. The beetles were breeding faster than the scorpion could eat them. I needed to add competition. Meet the blue death feigning beetle. This is no ordinary bug. They have 3 superpowers. First off, they make their own sunscreen. This white powder on their shell will protect them from the desert sun. Secondly, they have a huge abdomen to store water, kind of like a camel. They can last for ages without any water at all. But if a predator tries to eat them, that's where its 3rd superpower comes into play. They are indestructible. Their thick armor will protect them from sandstorms and strong desert winds. I added them into the tank and immediately, one was making a fatal mistake. He wandered towards the scorpion burrow and then down inside.
Disgusting.
He was walking towards his doom.
Interesting, but ugh.
There was a stalemate. The beetle made his move.
Why I forgot about this fucking big ass.
He tapped the scorpion and then retreated deeper into his burrow. The scorpion gave the beetle a gentle push and then made his journey back to the surface. That was a close call.
Wow.
I decided to let them be overnight. As the sun began to rise, something extremely rare was about to happen. It was rainy season, and one of the few storms of the entire year was about to commence. The tank began to flood. As the storm faded away, animals began to emerge. The rain brought new life to the desert landscape. This rose of Jericho opened its leaves after receiving water.
That is not a day.
By day 63, the water area was teeming with life. Hundreds of tiny eggs that lay dormant in the sand began to hatch. The pond was swarming with these tiny white dots that were going to become something incredible. Meanwhile, on land, I figured it was time to introduce a new animal. Here is a Mexican jumping bean, and here are 30 more. These are not what they seem. After I added them in, they began to dance. They seem to roll around mindlessly, but each one is on a mission. Find shelter. They jump to escape the desert heat. It didn't take long for them to huddle under whatever they could find. Now, inside every bean lives a caterpillar. One day, they will emerge into a beautiful little moth. By day 72, life in the water had grown substantially. These little white crustaceans are called fairy shrimp. They glide through the water,
Look,
filtering out whatever.
Look, we just recognize that one, it's not a surprise that aliens exist because these things are alien. And also, isn't just nature and life just incredible and insane? Like, what? Said the Mexican jumping bean or whatever the hell that thing was called. One, it looked like a fried potato that ended up being a caterpillar, he said, that turned into a moth. That turns into a moth. So Mexican jumping beans, that's it's nuts. It's a moth. You know what I mean? It's a baby moth. Let's just call it what it is. Wow, man, come on. And these
food they could find.
It's insane.
In the shadows lived an animal much larger and less delicate than the fairy shrimp. Meet the triop. I put one on my finger so you can get a sense of scale. They look completely prehistoric.
Jesus. Prehistoric, extraterrestrial.
They look to be thriving now, but there is a problem. Every day, the water level got lower and lower. The desert sun was quickly drying up their little pond. On day 81, the pond was almost dried up, but life was more active than ever. Many of the triops were carrying bundles of eggs and needed to find a safe place to lay them.
What are you talking about?
Here, you can see a female carefully digging her nest.
I won't say careful.
She will lay her eggs in this hole, and they won't hatch until the following rainy season. The fairy shrimp had also laid their eggs, and their life cycle was reaching the end. Only a few days later, the pond had dried up completely. The rows of Jericho had closed, and life seemed bare. But after closer inspection, you will notice hundreds of tiny eggs waiting for the next time it rained. Life was booming, but it was time.
This is the thing, it doesn't even make any sense. You know what I mean? But at the same time, this is just life is doing life on its own. You know what I mean? Like, do the research what the natural habitat is, how it behaves, and it's like it's just meant to be like that.
Time to introduce a new predator. This animal will easily find her way to the top of the food chain.
Unfair with what
Let me introduce you to the bearded dragon.
Oh Lord.
I'm just kidding. She's way too big for this tank. But I have many more projects on the way, so do me a favor and like this video, subscribe, and I'll be sure to see you in the next one.
Okay, so we don't end it with a lie. Okay, so that would be my suggestion to you, Dr. Planet. Your videos are incredible. I love it. Thank you for that. And everybody go check out Dr. Planets. But we don't end the video with an actual lie. Like, what in the hell, man? Let's see what else we had here today. I had let me know, by the way. Let me know in the comments. I don't know. Were y'all as blown away by that? I was probably not. But I was tripping out. That just the ecosystem and how it behaves and regulates itself, and just how the life interacts, and honestly, the scorpion, I thought it would be way more of like a apex predator in there. Like, it has no nothing that's trying to eat it in that space, so it just is free to do what it does, and it really didn't get that crazy. You know what I mean? He's like, damn, they're out populating him because he'll just he'll eat till he's full and he's good. Let's get into the legal eagle, man. He's gonna actually, you know what, let me run it back. I like that. And then we're going to go actually to something else. We're going to go to the interrogation videos. Okay, this is a longer video. Something I feel like before we have anybody hop in here tonight, this is the kind of stuff that I get into. So let me go ahead and just introduce y'all. Go ahead and fast forward if you want the silliness, because we got into animals and we got into interrogation videos. I don't know what this guy's going to be talking about, but you already know it's not a good thing when it's on the Explore With Us YouTube channel, which is who we're about to rock with real quick.
Jamie, your friend, he was the easiest out of anybody because he would have followed me because we're so
okay. So we're coming in hot. So I guess I guess my boy Explore with us. He wants to give you a little taste of the climax of this story that we're about to see. But yeah, so what this is about to be, these are interrogation videos where they'll break down some of like the body language and stuff and just the case in general more than anything, but they'll break down their interrogations and kind of their behavior during the interrogation and stuff. So it's good fun. Let me know in the comments how y'all feel. If you guys have any of these that just blew your mind that I should react to, let me know in the comments for sure, because I love these videos. So put me on.
Such good friends.
Why did you make the suggestion to Jamie to go inside the school today?
I was planning to murder him.
Shit. All right.
Do you know why you were going to do this?
No, I don't.
This is 14-year-old Michael Hernandez. He's an honor roll student at Southwood Middle School, the well-behaved son of a business owner and an occupational therapist. And as of right now, he's the prime suspect in the cold-blooded murder of his close friend and schoolmate, 14-year-old Jaime Goff. Detectives would get the answers they're looking for, but only after enduring one of the most spine-chilling interrogations they would ever conduct. The following footage revealing a 14-year-old killer has never been seen before.
All right, look, I didn't know what the fuck I was clicking on when I just knew this was a murder situation. They're kind of, so we got a middle school murder.
February 3rd, 2004 started like any other Tuesday at Southwood Middle School in Miami, Florida.
Okay.
Students gathered outside of the school to meet up with friends, socialize, and wait for the doors to open at 8:50 a.m. No one thought much of it when two particular students weren't at their usual meeting spot by the teacher's parking lot that morning. The doors opened and students flooded inside. Before classes started, a student decided to make a pit stop to the boys' bathroom on the second floor of the school. He couldn't have known just how traumatic this decision would turn out to be. Upon entering, another student whom he didn't recognize calmly walked past him and exited the restroom. He observed a single black book bag sitting near the entrance of the bathroom and specks of blood dotting the floor. He peeked underneath the stalls to check if anyone was inside. There was indeed someone else in the bathroom, but something was terribly wrong. A large pool of blood was forming on the floor inside one of the stalls, and there appeared to be a pair of feet hanging down from the toilet. He swiftly exited the bathroom to advise a nearby security guard that there appeared to be someone bleeding inside the boys' bathroom. The guard simply brushed him off and told him to go to class. He then went and told a friend what he'd seen.
No way.
Together, the
Okay, so hopefully that guy gets fired. What are we talking about right now? A kid comes to you and says there's somebody bleeding in the bathroom. Yeah, just go to class, stupid.
two boys proceeded back into the bathroom. The stench of warm blood had begun to fill the small latrine. The pair tiptoed cautiously toward the stall. They knew they had to look inside. They prepared themselves for the worst, then hesitantly inched the stall door open. The scene before them could only be described as nightmarish. A male student, later identified as 14-year-old Jaime Goff, was covered in blood and unresponsive. He was positioned face down, his chest and torso lying across the toilet seat, while his head and legs hung limply over the sides of it. Blood streamed down his face and into a large pool that was forming on the floor beneath his head. In that pool lay a lone pair of black glasses. One of the boys shouted to the victim twice. When they got no reply, shock turned into panic. The two fled the bathroom in hysterics.
Go find that guard and startling the security guard in the hallway. Yeah, that wasn't doing his job, obviously, like on several levels. And go change your report to him. Yeah, there's a dead person in the bathroom now because you're a dumbass. When there was somebody bleeding, you didn't want to do shit.
Startling the security guard in the hallway.
Crazy.
This time, alarmed by the student's clear distress, the guard rushed into the boys' bathroom. Upon witnessing the grotesque scene, he immediately radioed the Miami-Dade Police Department. The guard then left the bathroom to retrieve the assistant principal. Upon returning, the guard discovered that in the few minutes he'd been absent from the bathroom, someone had come in and removed the victim's body from the toilet. The body was now lying face up on the stall floor, his arms splayed out to the sides. School personnel could now clearly see that one side of his neck was shredded to pieces. The school was immediately put on lockdown.
God,
A few hours later, investigators entered the classroom of 8th grade student Michael Hernandez, who'd been identified by one of the 2 witnesses as the boy they'd seen exit the bathroom that morning. Michael's teacher approached detectives first, with a few pieces of interesting information. She stated that she let her students into the classroom at 8:55 a.m., and since that time, Michael had requested to go to the bathroom 3 times. The teacher observed that Michael had blood on his shirt, which he attributed to a nosebleed. He made 2 trips to the bathroom before 9 a.m. After the school went into lockdown, Michael requested to go to the bathroom a 3rd time, wherein his teacher summoned a security guard to escort him to an unoccupied restroom and back to class. This was reportedly the last time Michael had left the classroom. Michael was taken to an office on the 1st floor of the school to speak with detectives. When investigators inquired as to how Michael got blood on his shirt, he told them that he'd been hit in the face by a door while horseplaying with the victim earlier that morning. The detective examined Michael's face but found no open wounds that he could have bled from. Michael quickly changed his story. He claimed he'd gone back to the 2nd floor bathroom where he'd parted ways with Jaime earlier. When he entered the restroom, there was already another student inside that Michael wasn't familiar with. The student advised Michael that there was someone inside one of the stalls. That's when Michael got down close to the floor to look underneath. When he bent down, his shirt grazed the floor and got blood on it. However, he did in fact see his friend Jaime inside the stall. After that, he simply left the bathroom and went to class. After collecting Michael's statement, a consensual search of Michael's book bag was conducted. What they found inside told an even more shocking story than the one Michael had just spun. Inside the bag was a red jacket and 2 latex gloves, both with traces of blood on them. The detective asked Michael to accompany him to the station, to which Michael agreed. A little after 1:40 p.m., Michael was transported to the Miami-Dade Homicide Bureau office. Here, he regaled detectives with an entirely different tale. The version you're about to see is more twisted and disturbing than anything detectives had heard so far. The following never-before-seen footage has been analyzed by a qualified team, including a licensed professional counselor, a licensed attorney and former prosecutor, and a licensed clinical psychologist.
Ready?
Yeah.
Please raise your right hand when I swear you in. You swear the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the
more
truth.
bullshit.
Yes, I do.
Okay.
Though he is a minor at 14 years old, Michael is being questioned alone and without his parents, because in Florida, the law allows minors to be interviewed without parental consent or their presence in the interrogation. However, parents can request a lawyer or stop the questioning on behalf of a minor at any time. These laws can vary by state, as some states do require parental consent.
Mike, just do me a favor. When you talk clearly.
So right off the bat, I don't want to make this, I don't want to throw this off course, but just from like what makes more sense to protect the person being questioned rights. Obviously, I mean, if it's a child, we're not going to trust them with any other decision in society. So why would we not require the consent? You know, the parent should be informed and they should give this consent. That just makes sense.
So that Ms. Renee can understand you. Okay? For the record, could you please state your name?
Michael Hernandez.
Mike, what's your birth date?
February 2nd, 1990.
Happy birthday.
Thank you.
So you just turned 14?
Yes, I did.
Very good. And what grade are you in?
I'm in the 8th grade.
Michael is being very cooperative and well-mannered during the preliminary questioning. He articulates well and answers the detective's questions clearly. His posture mimics that of an attentive student. He's sitting up straight, his hands folded in front of him, and his eyes keenly fixed on the detective. His body language conveys respect and a willingness to be compliant. However, we'll soon see that his motives are actually much darker.
What school do you go to?
Southwood Middle School.
And are you in any special classes or anything? Any honors classes?
I'm in gifted.
Gifted.
All my classes are gifted except for my electives.
Very good.
Okay.
You can read and write the English language, correct?
Yes, I can.
And what are your grades in school, Mike?
A's and B's.
Michael appears proud to talk about his exceptional performance in school.
These though?
Being a gifted student seems to be a big part of Michael's identity.
Do you know an individual by the name of Jaime or Jamie Goff?
Yes, I do.
The J in Jaime here is pronounced with an H sound, like it would be pronounced in Spanish. But Michael and the detective pronounce Jaime with the J sound. At the mention of the victim's name, Michael's cool demeanor slips very subtly. For the first time, he seems to hesitate before answering the question.
Yes, I do.
His hands make a slight movement, as if he's trying to talk with them, but doesn't exactly know how.
And how do you know Jamie?
We've been friends since the 7th grade.
And for the record, Jamie is the victim in this case. How old is Jamie?
14.
And you're 14 also.
Yes.
How much older is he than you?
I'd say about 4 months. Let's see. 4 months. Almost 4. Give or take a few days.
Okay.
Normally, detectives ask a suspect very open-ended questions like, "Tell me what you did this day." But here, the detective is using a lot of leading questions, which may be due to Michael's very young age.
And what time did you get to school?
8:25, a little after, between 8 and 9:30.
And when you arrived at school, where did you go to?
I went to the fence on the outside of the parking lot, north of the parking lot.
And why is that?
That's just where me and some other people would just hang out.
And this would be before class?
Yes, before class.
And who are the people that...
Troublemaker, obviously. I've get this damn troublemaker. Make sure you tap in. This is a little crazy.
you would hang out with in the morning?
Most of the time it'd be with Jamie Goff, Andre Martin, and myself.
Don't even throw those
And
guys in
sometimes
there.
there were some other people, but they didn't hang out with us. They just
Throw those guys into your own bullshit.
Today,
yes.
who did you meet at the fence?
I met Jamie Goff.
Mm.
And how did Jamie seem this morning?
He seemed like he normal hall like he does every morning.
Did
How'd you see him?
you make any suggestions to Jamie that you and him go into the school early this morning?
Yes, I did.
And about what time was that you suggested that both of you go inside?
A little after 8:30, maybe like 8:31 or 35, between those times.
What time does school open? And
Guilty, because when you say 8:30 and then you say 8:30, 8:31, 8:35 between those times, what is up with all the qualifying, man?
are students allowed inside the school?
8:50.
Did Jamie agree to your suggestion to go inside when you made that to him?
We had to make a deal first because he didn't want to get in trouble because we've gotten in trouble on previous times when we've attempted to go up there.
And why?
This is a YouTube video. This is the Explore with Us. You'll hear him talking and stuff like that here in a second. This isn't just the raw footage.
Why do you get in trouble for attempting to go inside the school?
Because it's too early and we shouldn't be walking around upstairs. And
I see. Why did you make the suggestion to Jamie to go inside the school today?
I was planning to murder him.
Michael answers this question as matter-of-factly as he's answered all the other questions so far. There's not a single hint of empathy or remorse to be found. He seems undeterred, even by the fact that he's admitting to first-degree murder and exposing himself to the highest level.
Up until this point, it seemed like he was gonna try to avoid responsibility somehow. He's lied about how he got blood on him and everything, and then literally once he sits down for the interview, he's like, oh, I guess he but then again, that's why in Florida and Jaded Spades, I don't know if you were in here when we read it, but there was a hey, that's Miami-Dade cameras is what it is. Damn, I forgot what I was saying. Either way, let's get back into it. I'll say
of criminal penalty there is. Michael likely isn't aware of this, but under Florida state law, 14 and 15-year-olds can be tried as adults for certain felonies.
Okay, real quick, Florida state law. That's what I was thinking. So Jaded Spades, I don't know if you were in here when we saw that part of the video, but in Florida, it's legal for the police to interrogate somebody without their parents' consent. So some of you guys, I don't know if you saw that, but that's what we were seeing earlier. I don't know how I feel about that, just as far as like, you know, personally, my personal feelings on it. But that's why this kid was able to be interrogated. His guardian may have never even been notified at all that he was even in police custody at any point.
They can also be subjected to the exact same penalties that an adult can receive, with the exception of the death penalty.
In Florida, you're a grown-ass man if you want to kill people. Damn it. Yeah, I don't agree with it.
Since Michael has already confessed to the first-degree murder of his friend, all that's left is to see if the court will possibly take pity on him.
Do you know why you were going to do this?
No, I don't.
Now, what was your plan? How were you going to
Might as well
accomplish
say why
this?
to get a TV.
I was going to get him into a stall, the last stall, because it's the biggest, so I'd have more room.
Now, this is in a restroom?
This is the restroom.
On which floor?
2nd floor.
Okay, and it's the male restroom?
Yes, it is.
Where is it near?
It is near the media center and the gifted U.S. history class.
Okay. And once you brought
Listen to this psycho giving details. Ugh.
or got Jamie in there, how are you going to bring him or lure him into the restroom?
We usually go to the restroom after we get upstairs so we don't get caught by security.
Okay.
And so I knew that was going to work. I got him into the stall by saying, look, I have something to show you. So I got him into the stall and I told him to turn around because I wanted it to be a surprise. Before that, I put on the gloves. He saw me put on the gloves and I said, oh, I like them.
Oh, you're going too fast.
And I said, I like them because they're comfortable.
It's possible that Michael's cadence has increased here due to his excitement to talk about the crime for the first time. Retelling a story can be a way for someone to relive an experience, and it often brings back feelings associated with the original event. His fast talking could...
His heart's pumping. He's loving this right now. He's loving revisiting this. He immediately copped to it. This kid's a fucking psycho. And, you know, rest in peace to the victim really is all you can say. Like when you're watching this crazy fucker, like, damn.
Also be due to his eagerness to show how smart he was in preparing for this crime. He may be seeking admiration from the detective for how well he planned his attack.
Stop it.
Michael's enthusiasm is also evidenced in his full cooperation when being questioned, appearing like he's sitting for a job interview instead of an interrogation. It's odd that he doesn't seem afraid or bothered at all that he's sitting there because he's been caught for the murder of his friend.
Now, you also said that you put on gloves. What kind of gloves were these?
They were latex gloves.
Where did you get them from?
My mother purchased them at Walgreens the previous night.
Oh my God! Those gloves.
Why did she purchase these? Was that at your request?
It was at my request because I said that I needed them for extra credit for my science class.
Oh my God!
There's no denying at this point that Jaime's murder was premeditated. More disturbingly, it seems that Michael mapped out every single detail and accounted for almost all possible factors before executing his plan. A thorough search of Michael's backpack yielded a secret compartment that he'd made by cutting a slit in the inner lining and attaching Velcro along the edges of it so that it could be secured shut.
All this to not get away with it for even a day, by the way. All this to ask to go to the bathroom 3 times so you can probably enjoy what you did like a true Ted Bundy psychopath. And you went through all this trouble.
He'd used this compartment to store the murder weapon, meaning Michael had even planned for the possibility of his backpack being searched.
Now, you and him are already in the stall, correct?
Yes.
Did he go into the stall first?
Yes.
Did you follow him?
Yes, I did.
Did you close the stall door?
Yes, I
Sick.
did.
Now, what transpired next?
Okay. I was talking to him and I told him, all right, now I have to put my hand over your mouth.
Okay.
And so I did.
And
I lifted his neck up.
Now, was he facing you or was he away from you?
He was away from me.
Did you put your hand over his mouth?
Yes, I did.
And which hand did you use to put over his mouth?
My left hand.
Once you did that, what happened next?
I had already got, before I did this.
Look, this is the easiest day of this detective's life. There's not the voiceover guy hasn't even talked about the detective anymore. Usually they'll break down their technique, but this guy's literally just like, okay, tell me the next part, dude, that wants to brag about this murder.
Before I put my hand over his mouth, I already put my knife out. So the blade was already out.
Now, where had you kept this blade?
I had kept it in my jacket pocket.
And what color jacket did you have on today?
I had a red jacket.
Now, is this the same clothing that you're wearing?
Yes.
The detective is asking Michael a lot of control questions, meaning questions he already knows the answer to in order to see if Michael is being truthful with him. He's also asking him questions to see if they corroborate with the evidence they have already ascertained.
And what did you do next?
I took the knife out and I proceeded to slit his throat.
Now, do you remember in which direction you slit his throat?
Left to right.
Michael is able to recall the details of the murder extremely well, even noting the direction in which he slit his friend's throat. This is significant because it indicates that Michael didn't dissociate at all during the act. Some offenders black out while committing a particularly heinous crime due to the extreme stress of the situation. Michael, however, was keenly aware of exactly what he was doing, from beginning to end. This idea is especially haunting when you learn exactly what Michael did to his young schoolmate. An autopsy of the victim's body concluded that, in addition to his throat being slit, Jaime had been stabbed in the neck over 40 times. It's gut-wrenching to think that Michael, a 14-year-old child, was in complete control the entire time, savoring every single jab, slice, and cut.
Did Jamie say or do anything? Did he put up a struggle?
Yes, he did. He turned around after I did that. He asked me not to kill him. So I told him, okay, I'm not going to if you cooperate.
Okay.
Which was a lie.
Right.
And so I realized that the stall door was open, so I locked it.
Yes.
And then I turned him around again and proceeded to stab him.
And where did you stab him, Mike?
I'm not positively sure, but I'm guessing around the jaw.
Now, anybody that joined after the fact, this started out with a person that was in the bathroom going to a security guard, reporting that there was somebody bleeding. And I think they said that there was 2 people in there. So this kid, there's actually somebody else in the bathroom at one point when he's doing this vicious crime. And they go report it, and the security guard brushes it off. We rewind it like insane. So this guy literally could have got caught 2 different times during the act, basically.
Jugular vein right around here.
Okay.
That's what I was aiming for.
Did you stab him anywhere else on his body?
Just basically the back of the neck, all through the neck. Okay. And once in the temple, and I think I sliced him here.
And that would be on the left side?
Okay, so Jade Spades, obviously this person needs to be locked away forever. Like, there's no question. There's no, there's no way to, there's just no, like, listen to this guy describe the crime. This person cannot be in society. So, I mean, hopefully they can find a way to be useful to society from prison and find some meaning in life from prison, or, wherever he ends up. This guy definitely prison. He's not mentally ill. He's like intelligent for a 14-year-old. Like, this is very thought out. But I can't roll the dice on rehabilitating Ted Bundy here.
His face?
The other side of the face.
Michael is speaking very matter-of-fact and openly. He's likely excited to show the detective how clever he was. This may have overshadowed any thoughts of self-preservation, as he readily admitted to killing Jaime. He may be either unaware of or unconcerned about the legal consequences for his actions. In addition, his young age may have played a role in his readiness to confess. The prefrontal cortex does not fully develop until around the age of 25. Michael may still be feeling amped up and powerful after the murder, and is acting on that emotion, which may make him want to brag about what he did, rather than consider the fallout for his confession.
Agreed.
Now, after you did that...
Agreed. And real quick, because I'm not going to take too long here, but there's just, you can't put society at a risk with someone like this. A 14-year-old that planned out a murder to this extent is recalling it like with glee. Like, nah, you know what I mean? You gotta go.
What happened?
I left. I took my gloves off and I flushed them down the toilet.
Yeah.
Okay.
I like that.
I left and I went to go clean myself off. People were coming in, and so I left that bathroom and went to the other one downstairs.
Okay, let me stop you here. After you stabbed him, did Jamie fall to the commode or to the toilet?
No, he did not. He was already positioned where he was found. I put his head under there to stop him from gasping for air.
Okay.
So we'll close it up and
Oh, I see. Okay, now, I'm sorry?
so he would stop making noise.
Okay. Now, how did you know he was dead?
I made sure by taking my knife, the point of my knife, and poking him in the face.
All
And
right.
I checked his eyes also. And
Poking
they were
him in the
motionless.
Okay. Now, when he fell,
God,
was he on his front or?
what makes a person like this? That is the part that you have to be kind of curious about. Like, this is a 14-year-old. What makes him get to this point at the age of 14, where you're talking about stabbing somebody in the face? You're like, oh, I poked him in the face to make sure he was deceased.
Was he on his side or on his back? Do you remember?
He was on his front,
Okay.
faced at a kind of diagonal thing.
Yes.
There was blood coming from his mouth
Mhm.
to the right of the toilet. And I guess there might have been blood in the toilet. And there was
Okay.
blood on the walls.
All right. What did you do with the knife and the jacket?
I put the knife was broken because of the stab wounds, and I couldn't close it back. So I closed it as much as I could, and I put it in my jacket pocket.
Okay.
I proceeded to go to the sink, and I wiped some of the blood off the jacket, took the jacket off. No, I did
Slow
not.
down.
Oh,
When Michael is told to slow down here, he seems to be getting carried away as he's telling a story. Overall, both his affect and tone appear markedly blunted throughout. While his speech speeds up either from anxiety or excitement, there's no major change as he talks about going to get the gloves versus viciously stabbing his friend, or even realizing he's dead.
It was at my request because I said that I needed it for extra credit for my science class. I took the knife out, and I proceeded to slit his throat. I did not take the jacket off at that point. I just waited to get the blood off.
okay.
I proceeded to go downstairs to the other bathroom on the first floor.
Yeah, prison for
I then wiped myself off with all the stuff off my face and the stuff off my jacket. Then I took the jacket off and put it in my book.
Now, you said that you had flushed some gloves
Yes.
down the toilet.
There were two. I flushed 2 gloves.
2 gloves. How many pair of gloves did you have?
I had 2 pair, 4 gloves in all.
Where did you keep the other pair of gloves?
In the jacket pocket where I kept the knife.
All right. Now, before you gloved up this morning in the bathroom, did you remove any of your jewelry?
I removed my rings because they would have cut through the latex glove.
Okay. Did anything unusual, or did you notice?
Bro, he was so coherent the entire time thinking about all of this. Throw him in prison forever and let him work on the roads. Lord have mercy. He is not living in reality. He is just flawed and clearly very ill. Yeah, he's fucked every way. Demons. I mean, stuff like this makes you have to consider that. Just straight sociopath with no guidance. Yeah, like that's the kind of what makes you have to wonder like what this person's home life is and was like.
Anything unusual
If
when
that
you put your
at
hand
all. I mean, I don't
in
even know.
your
I think to get to this point,
pocket after the
got to be
incident?
some just nature
Yes,
in there.
one of my rings was missing.
And which ring was that?
Like, did you
It
find
was
that?
the ring on my right ring finger.
So, what did you do?
I went back upstairs to find the ring.
I know.
There was a witness there saying that someone was in that stall.
The way Michael refers to a witness is an indication that he may have strategically and specifically planned the entire murder, considering the possibility of witnesses being present or interfering in some way. He's speaking as if he's a law enforcement official describing or examining this case, rather than the perpetrator describing his own acts.
I went to go look, having known what was there. And I saw my ring and picked it up and then left.
Okay.
No, by the way, this is just so yes, I agree, Jay Spade. I love the cop. He is so cool. I'd be like, what the hell? Yeah, the entire time I'd be like, you are fucked up, buddy, but go ahead and tell me the next step. But yeah, this guy, so this is just something I'm realizing by hearing this. If you see a dead body, okay, sometimes assume that the murderer is still somewhere around there. It might be like scoping the area. So I never even thought about that. But if you see a dead body, get to safety immediately and be on high alert that he might be looking for witnesses. You know what I mean? This guy was ready to double back. He's like, because I knew what was in the stall.
Had you gone up there actually to check to see if Jamie was okay?
No,
it was strictly to check on your ring.
My ring, yes.
And why did you want to recover your ring?
Because I value my jewelry.
Okay.
It's very interesting to note how much more Michael's ring meant to him than his dying friend. This detail speaks volumes about exactly how Michael's mind works, namely that he possesses a disturbing disregard for the lives of others.
Do people know that you wear that type of ring?
Yes, many people know I wear this type of.
Yeah, how many dumbasses wear those kind of rings as a 14-year-old? If I saw a 14-year-old wearing those kind of rings, I think he was a coke dealer. Like, get the fuck out of here.
Could someone have identified you because of the lost ring?
Yes, they could have identified this ring, definitely.
Okay. When you went back upstairs to go back or into the bathroom to look for your ring,
yes,
who is the individual that told you someone was in the stall?
I'm not sure of his name.
Had you planned to do this to Jamie?
Yes, I did.
How long have you had this plan?
A little under a week.
And is there any specific reason why you planned this?
No, there's not.
Perhaps the most spine-chilling detail of all, Michael likely killed his friend purely for personal satisfaction. Michael, who had just celebrated his 14th birthday the previous day, had absolutely no reason to commit murder that morning. He simply decided that he wanted to. A situation such as this can reasonably be explained by a bout of severe psychosis. However, he doesn't present as a person who has psychosis based on his behavior during the interrogation. Michael seems to be thinking clearly and logically. There are no indications that he is responding to internal stimuli, such as voices in his head or unseen figures. There's no evidence of paranoia or delusions. Therefore, there is no evidence of a thought disorder. Michael's heightened intelligence and composure, as well as his blatant lack of remorse, are reminiscent of someone with antisocial personality disorder. However, an ASPD diagnosis cannot be given to anyone under 18. We cannot conclude that...
All right, so I'm not saying, like, this 14-year-old, he's like, yeah. So there's lighter. Is this what was it? I mean, I have to imagine they sat it like this, right? This shit wasn't just sitting out.
Michael has ASPD or psychopathy, the term often used to describe the most severe type of antisocial personality. Not only because we don't have enough information about Michael's symptoms and history, but also because Michael is only 14 years old and too young to be given such a diagnosis. At most, Michael's behaviors align with a diagnosis of conduct disorder, particularly since he has a history of taunting and physically assaulting peers, which you'll hear more.
Seeing all this together, it seems like several red flags.
About later.
Like, just because
However, if we suspend the fact that he cannot be diagnosed, his matter-of-fact demeanor could be due to the presence of psychopathy, as he has a lack of reciprocal emotion. A psychopath can be asked about a person they murdered and show no emotional response or reaction when they are shown pictures of the person or when they are told that the person likely suffered. In other words, they don't respond with an emotion that matches the circumstance.
Why did you choose Jamie, your friend?
He was the easiest out of anybody because he would have followed me because we're such good friends. And I knew he would have followed me in there and done what I would have said.
Okay. Now, I asked you about an individual named Andre Martin.
Yes.
Do you know Andre?
Yes, I do.
How old is Andre?
He is 13.
What grade is Andre in?
He's in 8th grade.
Is he a friend of yours?
Yes, he is.
Is he in any of your classes?
No, he's not.
How long have you known Andre?
I have known him since about the 4th or 5th grade.
And I know you told me earlier that usually you and Andre and Jamie hang out.
Yes, at the north part of the parking lot.
Yes, at the fence, correct. Calling your attention to yesterday, Monday, your birthday.
My birthday.
Did there come a time when
Yeah.
you approached Andre
So,
with the same type of ruse?
Yeah, yes, there was. We were me, Andre, Jamie, and myself were in the bathroom.
Which bathroom?
We were in the other bathroom than where the victim was found today.
Referring to Jaime as the victim may be evidence of how detached Michael feels from someone who was supposedly his friend. He may be unable to or have difficulties with forming real emotional attachments to other people.
yeah, bingo.
This phrasing could be another indication of psychopathy, as it shows Michael has a lack of prosocial emotions. Empathy and emotional attachment are considered prosocial emotions, which are things psychopaths struggle with feeling. This is why they often present as emotionally detached, distant, and indifferent, because they're apathetic to society and to people and situations in general. The fact that psychopaths are emotionally detached helps them to stay calm in situations that would cause the average person to feel afraid or nervous, such as in an interrogation or the act of committing murder.
What were your intentions yesterday?
Yeah.
My intentions yesterday were
No, he could have been. I mean, you see how well thought out like some of the details were. It wasn't all there, but because he's too focused on like enjoying his sick deed. But you are right, Jid Spades. Like this kind of like cold, like just valuing whatever, over human life. Like, yeah, that's something we see all the time.
to kill Andre. The same way that I killed Jamie today, except for the fact that I was going to stab him in the back and stab here, and that would have been it.
Who was this you were going to do it to?
I was going to do this to Andre.
Michael seems almost enthusiastic about the opportunity to disclose every meticulously planned detail of how he was going to kill both of his friends.
Yeah, for sure.
The animated way in which he illustrates his master plan to the detective indicates that he's relishing the opportunity to divulge his wicked scheme, and even enjoying the attention he's receiving. Whatever his motivation, Michael seems extremely invested in this experience of being involved in a real criminal proceeding. These are several more signs of possible antisocial personality disorder. From a legal perspective, his intention to cruelly execute multiple people could be used as evidence that Michael is essentially a serial killer in the making.
Yeah,
The prosecution could argue that a life sentence is necessary in order to protect potential victims of a future serial killer.
Earlier, you told me that you had a belt and you were going to strangle someone.
Yes, I was going to strangle him first, and then after he was dead, I was going to make sure by stabbing him.
Okay, and this was Andre.
This was Andre.
Now, did you lure him into the bathroom yesterday?
Into the bathroom, yes, not the stall.
Okay. And how did you accomplish that?
The bathroom,
Yes.
we were late to class. I told them both that we were going to be late to class. And so we snuck upstairs after the late bell had rung. We got to the bathroom, and I was trying to convince Andre to go into the stall.
Okay. And how were you going to do that?
I told him that I had something to show him.
Okay.
Yes.
And what was his response to that?
Hell no.
His response, he didn't want to do it, so he said no. He's like, why can't Jamie go first? My response then was that he's gonna go next.
Okay. Now, did Jamie agree? Did Jamie say, I'll come in, I'll look?
Yes, he did.
Okay. And what did you say at that point?
I said no, he's gonna go first.
Okay. And any particular reason why?
I wanted to get Andre killed first before
Okay.
I got Jamie.
All right. Now, when that did not happen yesterday, what did you end up telling Andre and Jamie?
Michael is taking up a lot of space on the table with his arms and hands. This could be indicative of confidence and feeling in control of the conversation, or at the very least, feeling at an equal level as the detective.
I said, all right, are you gonna guys cooperate tomorrow? They're like, yeah, okay, we'll cooperate tomorrow.
All right.
Michael's word choice here says a lot about his relationship with his friends at school.
Yeah.
When Andre refuses to go into the stall with him the day prior, Michael asks his friends if, in his own words, they'll cooperate with him the next day instead, to which they both agree. The way he speaks to his friends indicates that Michael was likely the authority figure in his friend group, and that his friends regularly felt like they had to obey him. That might explain why he thought he could easily lure them both to a horrific fate. Sadly, Michael was right about Jaime, but clearly underestimated Andre.
Today, before this happened to Jamie, what were your intentions going to be if Andre should have shown up?
I would have
I agree.
talked him into coming to the bathroom with me, coming into the stall. Then I would have proceeded to slit his throat and stab him continuously until he died in the neck area.
Yes.
And then I would have left him there.
Yes.
And gone back downstairs and talked Jamie into coming upstairs. Lured him into the other bathroom.
A small box.
Slit his throat and stabbed him in the neck.
Okay.
Get him out
Now,
of here. What in the
Mike,
fuck is
where
wrong?
did you get this knife from?
I have a knife collection.
Yeah.
I've been collecting knives, and as I said, my dad has a store. And so
Forever, dude.
I asked him for some knives. This was before I was going to do this.
Yes.
Just-
And I asked him for some knives. He's like, all right, you can take them. Because I wanted a not switchblade, but like a knife that can come out
I think they
easily.
call
You
them
don't want to
grabbing
be
knives.
so.
Michael had
black and
exhibited
white,
several
but-
warning signs of concerning behavior prior to the murder, most of which detectives won't discover until they speak with more of Michael's schoolmates over the next few days. Students reported that Michael demonstrated an intense interest in all things gore and death. Even the screensaver on his computer at school featured a scary creature covered in blood, which had caught the attention of other classmates. Michael also had a history of teasing and physically assaulting his peers. He'd been reprimanded in the past for
Got those Medicaid glasses. Let me go ahead and read this real quick. Jade Spades, the poor victim boy, so terrible. I still don't like the interviewing with no parent and or attorney. I agree with that. At the very least, letting the parent know, you know what I mean, and allowing them, to. So yeah, I think we agree on that. And then solitary confinement, agreed. But yeah,
mocking and hitting a couple of female classmates. He was also known to poke and chase other kids with a screwdriver that he kept in his backpack.
Let me ask you this. Is there any particular reason why you did this to Jamie?
No, there's not.
Did he offend you in any way?
No, he did not.
Did he harm you in any way?
No, he did not.
Mike, you know the difference between right and wrong, correct?
Yes, I do.
Do you think what you did is right or wrong?
No, I don't.
Well, what don't you think?
I think it is neither right, but I don't think it was wrong.
Do you know
what
what
the?
you did is wrong?
Yes, I do.
Okay.
The fact that Michael is saying that he doesn't think what he did was right or wrong shows us that he must have come up with his own explanation or justification for what he did.
Yeah, explain
Had
that.
the detective probed further,
I hope
we may
they-
have gotten more
ask him to
information
explain
about why Michael believes that killing Jaime wasn't necessarily wrong. This could have possibly revealed some delusional thinking. Michael said himself that Jaime didn't do anything to him,
Yeah,
so
you're
for Michael
right.
to believe that what he did wasn't wrong means that he likely has some type of unconventional belief about taking someone else's life.
Is this the first time that you have been involved in something like this, Michael?
Yes, it is.
Are you sorry that this happened today?
No, I'm not.
And this was an unprovoked attack
What?
on Jamie?
Yes, it was.
Sir, has everything you told me been true and correct to the best of your knowledge?
Yes, it has.
Have I forced you to give this statement,
No,
sir?
you have not.
Have I treated you gentlemanly?
Yes, you have.
Thank you, sir. I have no further questions.
Okay.
Following his interrogation, Michael was transported to the Juvenile Assessment Center. Michael stood trial 4 years later, pleading not guilty by reason of insanity. At his trial, a particularly startling piece of evidence was brought forth, a notebook of Michael's that contained information about famous serial killers, a list of people he planned to kill, including his older sister, and a mission statement that declared his need to cleanse the planet by murdering people. Needless to say, the jury took no pity on him.
Yeah.
On September 24th, 2008, Michael Hernandez was found guilty of the first-degree murder of Jaime Goff
Good
and the
job,
attempted first-degree murder of Andre Martin.
I'm proud of my Floridians right now for getting that right. Get
He
him
was
out of
sentenced to life in prison without the
Life.
possibility of parole,
Never
plus
get out.
30 years for the attempted murder charge.
life and then 30 years on top of that because you're a bitch.
8 years later, in an unforeseen turn of events, a Supreme Court ruling made it unlawful to automatically sentence a minor to life in prison without the possibility of parole. Michael appealed and was retried in 2016. He was again sentenced to life in prison.
Oh, yes, sir. Okay. They still did it. Now, no matter what the rest of it says, if he gets parole at some point, I'm still proud of him for coming back around. And you know what I mean? We're giving him the double. Florida, stand up.
And returned to the Columbia Correctional Institute to serve the remainder of his sentence. However, Michael wouldn't remain in prison very long.
No!
On April 29th, 2021, Michael suddenly collapsed and shortly thereafter was pronounced dead. His cause of death was noted as cardiac dysrhythmia, or an irregular heartbeat, in connection with morbid obesity. Michael died at the age of 31 after having...
Damn it. Well, and that's how... Well... Michael, you bitch. You suck. Let's see here. Let me get to y'all. Oh, actually, you know what? I'll make this easy for myself. I got a lot going on the screen. All right. His father should be an accomplice. Okay, so is I think Deuce Andretti, is that even facts what you're saying, brother? His parents should be sued to oblivion. That I agree with. But like, you know, holding the parents accountable for the child's actions, if they abused them and brought it on or something like that, then yeah. But then at the same time, some people are, I have to believe, some people probably are a little just psychopaths and prone to doing wild shit like killing people like that. This is classic insanity. He doesn't know the difference between right and wrong. Oh, okay. Well, wow. Okay, so the contrarian lawyer enters the chat. All right, let me catch up to y'all. His father should be an accomplice. Okay, Paul. Agreed, Paul. All right, so it's very interesting. Well, I'm gonna see if I get to y'all's explanation of this. They don't want this character on the street. Yeah, no, I love it. How did he get obese in jail? That is crime. Probably bullying people, eating double servings on some bullshit. But also, jail food, you know, also probably isn't the most healthy. Eating that from the age of 14 to 31, it's probably not great. His father gave a sociopath knives. Yeah, but I mean, you know, this is when he's caught. We're seeing him as he's caught. I don't know if, like, you know, don't get me wrong. Like I saw his collection of movies that he had, and you know, I could see the signs. I could see there being some warning signs. And if you would have read the journal, obviously he's keeping journals talking about killing his sister and crazy shit. So he was just a psychopath. So I agree to a certain extent, but I'm like, you know, how we can't really be there. And what if the sociopath covered it up, just didn't know, and then gave into that when he got caught? And maybe at times, you know, the mask slips, but as far as from a sociopath's perspective, not mine. I have video evidence. Shrug. What is this guy talking about right now? They knew he was a risk to society. He's been reprimanded for violence. I might have missed that, brother. He was stuffed like a turkey on Thanksgiving. All right, moderator in the chat, please. Oh my God, we got to get Deuce Andretti over here. We got to get him canceled. Not canceled, but like, you know what I mean? Banned. But no, we're vibing. So let's see what else we got here. We got I don't know if anybody's gonna hop in. There's some of these videos that I was holding until then, because we might be more conversational. Let's see. I do got this I could run with. I don't even know. I've never watched these videos, but they're something like prank calling and triggering people, and they were going crazy. So I'm just like, okay, let's see what's about. But I've never watched this YouTube channel, so I can't vouch for it necessarily, but it should be funny. My parents used to say you only get bread and water in jail. I feel cheated. No, definitely not. Uncle Larry and Daddy. Yeah, I don't know. The fuck is Uncle Larry and Daddy? I don't even know. Guys, let's get into big prank business. Sounds like we might be talking about
You're in the hospital. I don't even know what to say to you.
A viewer sent in a request to
let us know how you feel about this right here, because like I said, it's my first time watching this, so I don't even know how I feel about
Like
it.
his daughter, who is super politically correct and woke. Her dad is in his 60s, and she often gives him a hard time for not keeping up with the lingo. I'm gonna tell her the dad was making insensitive comments about my gay character Chris online. And man, does this get good. Hello, is this Dwayne?
No.
This is Russell from Ownage Pranks. Did you reach out?
Hey, Russell.
Are you Dwayne or are you not Dwayne? Come on, my brother.
Yeah, it's Dwayne.
What's
Yeah,
up, man?
it's Dwayne.
How you doing, man?
I'm doing good.
Yeah, you thought I was a scammer, huh?
Yeah, I thought you was a scammer, man. I got this Bluetooth in. But anyway, I'm glad to hear from you.
Well, no, man, I appreciate you reaching out with the request. Me and my team saw what you had to submit, and we thought this was definitely having some fun potential. So I wanted to hear from you what you thought we could do to properly prank your daughter. But she's very politically correct?
Oh, absolutely. You say anything about somebody that lives an alternative lifestyle? I don't know what people call them now.
Alternative lifestyle is a safe bet.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Alternative
You say
lifestyle.
anything,
Okay.
derogatory against anybody? Oh my goodness. That's why I learned
Define
you can't
derogatory.
use a proper pronoun. And I had to think about what the hell a pronoun was. I haven't heard that since 4th or 5th grade.
Yeah.
Okay, fair.
That's an elementary school.
And do you use like Facebook, Instagram, anything like that? Like, could I say that you left some insensitive comment on my page and that I like Googled you but got to her?
Yeah, that'll work.
If what would actually be realistic for a comment that you would make on someone's Facebook page?
But let's see.
Freedom of speech is amazing.
Peter Eater.
Peter Eater?
Peter Eater.
Okay, that's perfect.
What the fuck? Peter Eater? What
Hello?
the hell?
Hello, can I speak to Dwayne, please?
You have the wrong number.
I looked this up on Google, and it's a really big emergency. Is this his wife?
No, it's not his wife. Who is this calling?
If this is some kind of joke, this is absolutely serious. Is this Bianca?
Yes. How do you have my name?
I was on Facebook, and someone left some really nasty comments. I hired a private investigator to finally figure out who the hell it was, but someone's been leaving the term Peter Eater all over my posts.
Peter. What was he leaving?
Peter Eater. And then there were threads about pronouns and like it was ridiculous.
Wait, just calm down.
Yeah, at least
What are we
like
arguing?
Peter
I'm
Eater,
serious. I
right?
apologize.
Right.
for
Whoever
asking
Dwayne is leaving a lot of really insensitive comments, okay?
Coming off of this comment
that would be
from
my father,
Goose
right?
and Ready.
Oh.
He's kind of yeah, not my husband or anything like that. My father. I'm quite young.
Oh. Do you understand what he was trying to allude to by calling me a Peter Eater?
I feel like it's a derogatory term, but I really
Yeah,
don't.
exactly. And like he commented it like 6 times in a row, and like each time was like a dagger.
I'm really, really sorry because I know that can be very triggering, and my dad is a total asshole, and that's a big reason why I don't talk to him often.
He is an asshole.
Oh,
Yeah.
Okay, now that I have your blessing, fuck that guy. No offense.
But if there's any consolation at all, and it's not, and we'll talk about this whenever
Yeah,
you're
this is
feeling,
hurtful.
when you have the emotional capacity to have a conversation that will not trigger you or make you anxious or anything like
Okay.
that.
Maybe he's just like a lyrical expert and just likes things rhyming. Who knows? You know what I mean? I don't want to judge. You know, like maybe it was just some little clever phrase he thought of, and maybe I'll remain open-minded as always. So I'm gonna go ahead. I'll call you tomorrow, and I'll text you first.
Bye, Chris.
Okay, take care. Bye-bye.
You too. Bye.
To go the extra mile with this prank, I photoshopped a comment thread to show the fake argument between Chris and Dwayne, arguing under a political post on Facebook. Wow, impressive! Not. I wish Trump Daddy was back in office. Trump 2024. You really think Trump can do better? Excuse me, I'm feeling really threatened right now. Please stop commenting. Are you serious? I can comment if I want to, idiot. Leave me alone and stop insulting me. I'll press charges for harassment. Yeah, okay, Peter Eater. Here's where things get interesting. After sending Bianca the fake screenshots, she began to think that Chris's reaction was a bit over the top. So to my surprise, she actually ended up taking her dad's side, defending him, and sending me a long series of texts calling Chris out.
Just to clarify, you felt threatened because my father asked, "You think Trump can do better?"
That was the only screenshot I could find. The others were much worse and got deleted after I blocked them.
Am I missing something?
Now let's call back and triple down on how hurt Chris's feelings are.
Hi, this is Bianca.
Oh, hey Bianca. I was just trying to call you. How are you?
Good.
Well, I've been Looking forward to finally speaking. I know you had some questions. Like
in my life, I'm gonna let you know, never do this to me because this would piss me off more than anything. Somebody wasting my time. Matter of fact, they would never get through to me. I'll answer numbers I don't know.
What do you think?
Well, now I'm more confused than ever because the screenshot to me didn't look so bad. I mean, obviously the term that he called you wasn't great.
It was Peter Eater. I'll never forget.
I'll never.
I don't know. I guess I'm a little taken aback that you're just maybe taking his side more now, or like don't see the issue in it.
It's super weird that he was doing this because I think he's trolling. My dad really isn't even a Biden supporter like that. He didn't even vote in the election.
Well, I don't know. Like in another thread, he like threatened to bitch slap me. So like I thought that was just like he was making some kind of like homophobic remark.
The fact that you hired a private investigator, like I'm just very confused by that. I really thought there was so much more to this. Like
I really thought like you understood like where I was coming from.
Okay, I can honestly say this is the weirdest conversation I've ever had in my entire life. From the screenshot that I saw, it seemed to me that he was just getting.
I'm Congressman Greg Stubbe. As a veteran, if you need
politics, it sounds like you're very unhinged, and I recommend therapy.
Both of you, your homophobia is unhinged, okay? How about that? Like, that's what's unhinged, okay? Because, like, this is ridiculous. I reached out to you, like, putting my heart on the line, and I thought you were, like, sympathizing with me, and you're just a flip-flopper.
Yeah.
I'm a what?
A flip-flopper. You heard me.
No, I didn't, actually.
I said you're a flip-flopper. You're flipping and you're flopping. It's a lot nicer to call somebody than a Peter Eater, I'll tell you that. The fact that you're sitting there trying to defend your dad is so pathetic. And I want you to know you're pathetic, Bianca.
Oh.
That is just so mean. Goodbye.
Okay.
There you go.
Hello. And then she blocked me. However, we can't let this end here, so I had her dad call her while I
That's
secretly...
fair, though. You were wilding out. We just started calling her pathetic and shit.
Hello?
Hey,
Hello?
Bianca.
Yes?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Freaking sissy freaking called me talking about he talked to you. You talk to one of them punks.
Yo, this guy, yo, he lives this role. So let's just be honest. When he said freaking sissy, what?
Yes, that's why I was calling you the other day.
Oh my goodness, he really talked to you?
Yes. So you spoke to him?
Yeah, I talked to him. You know, he started with me, and we was going back and forth, but then I must have called him a Peter fucking eater or something. You know, I don't know what the hell I called him. But
why did you call him that?
He come at me. What was I supposed to do? Well, what did he say to you, man? Cause I would go ring his little scrawny neck.
He called me, and it was marked as spam. I answered it because I really wasn't sure who it was, and
it was marked as spam, and she answered it. You picked the right one. That's what's nuts. Everyone don't vote for Greg. All right. He sound more like Kentheny here.
He was like, "Who is this? Dwayne's wife? Answer me." And I said, "Who is this?" I'm very confused. He was like, "Your husband said some really homophobic things to me."
I ain't no damn homophobe. I got friends that are assist, okay?
Wait, but they sent me a screenshot, and there it was, you calling him a Peter Eater. And I'm like, why would you say that? That is very homophobic.
I called him that?
Yes.
Okay, I was probably drinking that night or something. I don't know. I must have been in rare form. I don't know.
Okay, this is the screenshot. And tell me if this is accurate or not. Joe Biden page posted, the Joe Biden page posted something. March 10th that said,
on the Joe Biden page. Why was he on the Punks for Trump page? I don't get that. Okay, go ahead. I'm sorry for cutting you off.
I hate when you interrupt. Stop interrupting me. The next time you interrupt me, I'm hanging up.
Sorry, sweetheart.
Okay.
Sorry, sweetheart.
Okay.
This is her dad, by the way. Andretti.
He said, "We are pushing for investment." So this is Joe Biden. "We are pushing for investment so we can manufacture more in America." Blah 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 blah. Okay, he posted, "Wow, impressive." Not. I wish Trump Daddy was back in office. Trump 2024.
Trump
and you said,
"Oh yeah, I remember that." Oh, I remember that bullshit. Yeah.
Okay, stop interrupting me.
Oh,
all right.
I'm sorry. I don't know no better. If I do better, I do better. I'm sorry.
Oh, by the way,
oh my God. Okay, and then
I'm agreeing with this more and more as this goes on.
On behalf of all Homo sapiens,
it's really setting in.
I ain't got nothing against, them people. That's not normally how I talk. So, but he had me riled up, man. He got me banned. He got me banned.
hearing you talk like this now, I was defending you. I said,
he come at me. Dang.
I don't even know what to say to you. Oh my God. Oh my gosh. Tell me why he just touched me.
He just touched me.
Oh my God.
Oh, what?